Welcome to my review on The Have and the Have Not, Season 6, Episode 8. It is titled Enough Honey, Enough is Enough Honey. So, this one starts with Candace and Hannah still jumping on Jim cried. They done jumped him, got him on the ground, stomped a mud hole in his ass. And child, I was here for every moment because somebody should have been whooped his ass. His little pompous, conceited ass. And of course, after they let up off his ass, he talked trash. And he continued to threaten. He said, if you thought what I did to him was something, that's nothing compared to what I can do, and things of that nature. So Hannah basically didn't take kindly to being threatened again and basically told him, if you touch my kids or anything, I will kill you in the name of Jesus. Child, I ain't never heard such a good cussing out, a good threat. And she praised the Lord in the middle. Let me tell you, I was like, that lady meant it. She meant every word. So of course Candace, um, she was still upset about it. They had some words, and then Catherine walked in. Um, Catherine was upset, and basically, that's when she found out that Jim had somebody go after Benny to stab him. Um, Candace and her mom, they ended up leaving, but they was, all hyped up and still after the fight, insisting on calling the police and things of that nature. And then, of course, Candace legal training told her like, "Mom, we can't call, nobody. We in a house. We'll go to jail." So she listened to it. They went on by their business. Before they can leave and get to where they needed to go, Benny and Mitch finally found the house and pulled up. Child, they was looking for the house last episode. Anyway, so they pulled up. Benny basically ended up running into Candace, telling her that, oh, you weren't here to defend me. You were here to get the money. Of course, she was like, look, we need that money because we can just get away from this place if we at least able to, get this come up. And he basically was like, look, you need to stop your bull. I'm on our mother side with this. Showed her a picture of her son the same way. Because, she just wilding and nothing has really changed. So Mitch got got in the middle and was like, look, just lay off or whatever. He came to her defense or whatever. That's his friend and things of that nature. So before they can leave and go about their business, Jim comes outside, standing on his balcony, like he, in Shakespeare, whatever the case may be. He basically has some words for Benny or whatever, and Benny, basically ended up saying to him, well, shoot, he threatened him, whatever. He told me, you ain't finished the job, like, you effed up by not doing that, in so many words, that's street slang. And Jim was like, you need to get me my money. Just like he told Candace he needed it in 24 hours. And she was like, what you gonna do? Yes, so Jim kept talking trash, which is some of the stuff he's just so nasty. He don't even know when to stop. He ignorant. So he said take him to the hospital while he still has the pulse. Oh, do your tummy hurt? So child, after that, Catherine unleashed into his ass as she should have. So she went to talk. He went to talking about her sleeping with the other men. She was like, "Yeah, I did. Can you smell them on me? They make me feel like a woman." I was like, "Yes, girl, get you some dick." Cause that's all it is. She ain't into them young men. She don't care nothing about them. I think it basically gave her some vindication from all the years of him messing around and doing all the stuff that he been doing behind her back. And she said it also. She told him call off his dogs, like, look, you need to stop this foolishness or whatever. And he was like, no, I want my money. They got $8 million of my money. She said basically it ain't your money. And she said for all I care, they can have it. So he was like, what is it with you and this woman, Hannah? Why do you treat her like she your mother or whatever the case may be? She says to him, because she was there for me when I had cancer. I almost cried, girl. And she said the sad part is you were so busy running around with them whores, you didn't even notice it. She took care of me. She was there. And it's true because Hannah was taking her to her treatments. To put on the smoking reefer to help her with her nausea and stuff like that. She was really, really there because she even was able to pick up the fact that the lady was going through chemo. Because she wouldn't admit it in the beginning. That's sad. That lady recognized it. Anyway, So after that, Jim said he hates Hannah even more just because of that. All right, so Madison arrives at David's house. Jeffrey, I guess, well, David and Jeffrey's house, and so he came, and when David came and asked him, about Jeffrey, Madison was smart and mind his business. He didn't tell none of the he went to go see Justin crazy behind. So he goes in to help him with his bandages and stuff. Jeffrey was out seeing Justin, as I said. Justin basically was telling him, I knew you come back, I knew you be here. He was like, well, I never left, whatever like that. So he was like, well, good thing you came back because you might have missed me. So he said, what you mean by that? He was basically telling them that they were considering discharging him from the hospital. So then he tells Jeffrey that he wants him to come by to see their place, and he really wanted him to be there, and talking about how much he loved him. So Jeffrey was like, well, look, I got to get back to my dad or whatever. I can give you a ride home, but that's about it. So they ended up talking about the dude Madison, and Jeffrey was like, well, there's nothing going on with him. I'm not interested in him. He was interested in me at one time. Justin, of course, expressed that he didn't really like the situation. Jeffrey walked out of the room and basically said he loved him too, which was so dumb because you can't even play with a person like that in that mental state. And I don't even know why he fed into it. Okay, so Wyatt is still there. The DA is prepping him for his testimony. Wyatt wants heroin. The DA sends the doctor in there, and the doctor basically didn't have heroin. He had a detox drug, and he was upset. So the DA was like, look, man, we can't give you illegal drugs. We can give you a legal drug to help you or whatever like that. So he was like, well, I ain't taking it or whatever. So the DA was like, well, you going back to jail. So he decided to take it. He was talking trash to the doctor about it being only one pill or whatever. So after he calmed down, that's when he told him he needed to calm down, and he was going to be ready to transport him to the court. David was in there talking to Madison or whatever, and then he was like, your wife is pulling up. So he tells Madison asks him, do he want him to call the police, and he tell him no. So Veronica comes in basically saying that she's ready to try again with David. Everything between them has been messy and nasty. She professed her love for him. He admits that he did mistreat her, and basically he agreed that the house was supposed to be hers. And so she told him that she was gonna stop drinking. He said, well, you know what drinking normally does to you. So he said that he agreed to start over, just start dating slowly, and like how they were in their college days. So he ends up talking about his nurse and how his nurse just finished his bandages, and so she was just like assuming that it was a woman. He said no, it's a man. So David went to introduce her to Madison, and when she sees Madison, she was like, Madison? Then she was like, oh, it's a girl after all. So basically, because she knew about the relationship that him and Jeffrey was trying to have, whatever. So she asked him to fire him or whatever, and he was like, no, I had to call in a lot of favors. It was kind of hard getting him here. And so she was like, well, I'm going to sit back and let you handle your son, but do you understand that he can't continue to live this life? And he was like, yes. So she was like, well, I'm going to let you handle your son. So, they do a little, Jeffrey arrives and basically want to know what is going on between them. So they share the same information with him, and they end up kissing and flirting whatever with each other and talking about they love each other. So she went home. That's gonna be interesting because I wouldn't trust them. Yeah. She already tried to blow the man up. So I don't even know how they gonna be able to do this. But anyway, so Candace goes to the hotel. Candace goes there and she's talking to Rod, and clearly she's upset, and he was trying to figure out what was wrong with her and say he had never seen her that way. So basically she was talking about how she was just kind of all over the place, talking about revising the plan and that she wanted all the photos and video that he could find on Catherine Cryer. He offered her a drink. She took shot after shot. And then of course Charles and his entourage walks in. She like, crap, what is he still doing here? So anyway, Landon ended up seeing her and he offered to buy her drink. She was like, I already have a drink. He was like, well, come sit with me. She was like, no. And he was like, well, come stand with me. So he was like, it's clear that you're going through a lot right now and you're crying. And basically he shared how Charles told her about how she broke down or whatever and was crying in the bathroom. And I think she got a little irritated with that. So I guess she was pissed off and wondering why Charles was still there or whatever. So Landon was telling her, well, you look like you need a friend, and talking about how Charles, talked about what was going on, but actually he was trying to find her help. And she was like, well, he's trying to say I'm crazy or something because I'm, she was like, no, just helping you go through the grieving process. And she was crying a little bit. He was like, honey, you're grieving. And he was like, please don't run, whatever. Come, just come talk to me. So they end up going in a room or whatever and talking. And so he started texting. She was like, who you texting? So come to find out she was texting Charles's assistant. And she was crying and talking about how she was embarrassed and she was a wreck and she couldn't stop shaking and things of that nature. So she also shares about how her mother showed her a video of her son and it really affected her, and her brother showing a picture of her son. So I think it really, really got to her. Not in front of them, but eventually afterwards. So Charles comes in. So, he basically talking to her. He seems like he's very convincing and very caring and, basically trying to help her. And she was just talking about how she was just tired. And he was like, are you really tired? He was like, because I was exhausted when I was, out there doing a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. And he was like, I'm trying to give you a chance to rest on the right path. And I've never heard it quite that way, but girl, I be resting right on his arms and on his chest. Okay. But, so he was like, well, can we try one more time? And he was like, I'm here. I'm the guy you're looking for. I really love this episode from front to end. I love my favorite part was Jim Cryer getting his ass kicked in the beginning, and I like the fact that Candace and her mama came together and teamed up for a better cause. I did not like what I didn't like about the episode. I just don't like how Jeffrey is being stupid and still talking to this young man, because I think part of him is feeling obligated to talk to him because he knows something wrong with him. I think that's the counseling part of him that's trying to fix him, which makes me think about a lot of times and things that I've experienced. Stop trying to fix people, especially if it's taken from you as an individual. So with that being said, I'm excited about next week because it looks like Candace and Charles is going to cozy up and get close together once again. It looks like Wyatt is going to testify and he's going to get kidnapped or something. Like they threw his butt in the back of a van. What else? It was something else. What else? I think Jeffrey probably ended up going to that boy's house or something, doing something stupid. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review. Feel free to share and drop anything or any suggestions on how my videos go. I love and I'm so interested in hearing feedback from you guys. Until next time, peace.